Stuart Close, chapter number 3 Schools of Philosophy. The various schools of philosophy may be broadly classified as materialistic, idealistic, and substantialistic. Materialism, the doctrine that the facts of experience are all to be explained by reference to the reality, activities, and laws of physical or material substance. In psychology, this doctrine denies the reality of the soul as physical being in cosmology. It denies the need of assuming the being of God as absolute spirit or of any other spiritual ground or first principle opposed to the spiritualism. Physical matter, which is for him the only reality, energy, power, force, motion, principle, law, mind, life, or thought, which represent intangible things. Things represented are neither real or substantial. As they are not tangible, they are not real. Idealism. That system of reflective thinking would interpret and explain the whole universe, things, and mind and their relations as the realization of a system of ideas, view of what the idea or the ideal is, and of how we become aware of it. Substantialism, the doctrine that substantial existence or real beings are the sources of underlying ground of all phenomena, mental and material, especially the doctrine which denies that the conception of material substance can be resolved into more centers of forces. The fundamental idea of substantialism is ancient, but the systematic development and application of it is modern. Hall experimentally established the fact that sound consists of corpuscular emissions and is therefore a substantial entity as much as air or odor. Hahnemann's position. Hahnemann, assigned to be the idealist and attempt to be more definite, he has been called the vitalist. He was not a materialist who denied the deific origin and existence of spiritual substance or agents and maintained that spiritual or mental phenomena are the results of some peculiar organizations of matter. The inductive philosophy of Lord Bacon. In Hahnemann's writing, he seemed to have been most influenced by the inductive philosophy of Lord Bacon. Bacon's frame rests chiefly on his Novum Organum, the second part of his Instauratio Magna. The object of this was to furnish the world a better mode of investigation of truth, that is, a better logic than the so-called Aristotelian or syllogistic method. State of medicine in Hahnemann's time. In Hahnemann's time, the death of George Washington was undoubtedly caused by the repeated bloodletting of which he was subjected. Hahnemann faced the problem of creating a new science and art of the therapeutics which should be constructed on the basis of facts and observation and experience. Rational medicine. Scientific medicine must conform to all at least three requirements. It must be based on facts, it must be rational, that is logical, it must be demonstrably true. Hahnemann's working principle. He broadly defines medicine as a pure science of experience. This physics and chemistry, the natural historical school said medicine is applies physics and chemistry and founded medicines on these two sciences. Hahnemann founded medicine not only physics and chemistry but on the universal law of life and motion. all the phenomena of health and disease to it under two names, the dynamis and the life force. The failure to make a distinction between the power and the force has always created a confusion. Force and motion are merely phenomena of power which produces them. Motion is a result of application of a force. Force is the product of power or energy. Power is the property of anything or substance by virtue of which it is able to produce changes in itself or in other thing or substances. Action, motion takes place only in or in connection with that which has power to react or resist the thing itself, whether it be a stone, a machine, or a living organism. There can be no effect without a cause, no motion without force, no force without something or somebody or to exercise power. Hahnemann had distinction between power and force and used in organon as dynamis, the life power, and the substance, the thing itself, life force. The action of the power but failed to maintain the distinction clearly. The vital force of the vital principles clearly held firmly to the substantialistic view of life, that is, life is substantial, objective entity, originating power or principle, and not a mere condition or mode of motion. Disease is always primarily a dynamic disturbance of the vital principle. Life is intelligent, incorporeal, vital substance, the original, simple substance of the ancients. Life is a dynamical sense, is energy, the universal principle and cause of vital action and reaction. Organizations, growth, self preservation, and reproduction. The chemist, guided by the laws of chemical affinity and molecular attraction, reaches the sphere of universal attraction. Physicist analyzes matter, divides and subdivides until it disappears in the hypothetic, inanimate, unintelligent ether of space, which he conceives to be the source both of matter and force, and there he also halts. Hahnemann he yields to the innermost urge of the soul which demands of every man.